Well, there it is. Hi guys, welcome to another video. This is a Warcraft 3 Reforged Night Elf Sentry and Warden's models video. Yes, I'm going to look at these models, I'm going to react to them, and I'm going to give my opinions. If you like that, then make sure to thumbs up the video and stay tuned, because we're going to start off with the Night Elf Sentry. So, let's have a little look and zoom in on this one. Yeah, that looks pretty darn good. She's got abs and everything. I like the gem. I like the shoulder pads and the little circlet helmet. The dark purplish hair that still has a little bit of vibrancy to it. She's got this very long sort of chain with a door handle at the bottom of it for some reason. I mean, I'm sure that would be kind of uncomfortable to run in, so I'm not sure about the practical purposes of that, but artistically it looks interesting. She's got like a little thigh sort of strap. Maybe she's got a dagger on the other end or something in case she loses her glaive, which would be a smart move. The armor itself is absolutely gorgeous, just really curves around, but it's very sharp and sort of artistic, which still gives it that night elf vibe without being too orcish and barbaric. The only thing that I do have to say with a lot of these models is there's so much effort put into the details, yet their faces always seem a little bit generically kind of bland. Is that the right term? They don't look like they got that much personality, although that could just be reserved for the heroes, I suppose, because you don't really want the units to have too much personality. But I'd like kind of all of them to have a little bit of their own flair. She looks very vacant in terms of her personality, just judging by the facial description. But we're not really seeing her move around or mid-talking or anything like that. Look at the shading. It's very, very nice. Oh my goodness. Yep, that's a good angle. And of course, from behind. I love the gradient of the green on the cape. That just gives it that much more depth and sort of 3D reality. So, very good there. We're coming off of that, and we're going to take a look at the Night Elf Warden. Bear in mind, this looks amazing. I have looked at all of these models, actually, in a previous video, but it's a very long video. It's the Warcraft 3 Reforged models full review. It's over 2 hours, almost 3 hours long, and basically, I go through all of the models that were available at hiveworkshop.com that they've basically gathered. And there's a huge sort of array of pictures that are in-game, so screenshots and just close-ups of all the characters. So if you aren't aware of that because the video is so long and you decided not to check it out, I would highly suggest you give it a go, because I go into great detail, great depth, looking at every single model, giving its due, and try to describe as best as possible what it is that we're dealing with and ways that can be improved, criticisms. Bear in mind that all of this is of course not finished, so there is a lot to look through in that. So definitely add that one to your favorites and come back to that when you get the spare moment of time, and I'd appreciate that. But for now, we're going to continue with this little video where we take another look at these characters that were covered in that video. But obviously this is more focused on the Wellheads article being the Night Elf units. Look at the foot straps as well. And the bandages. She looks incredible, this model. They actually put a lot of effort into it. Like the fact that this is like a tree vine gives it that Night Elf flair. It's not just sort of like a cord-like whip. You've got like the green of the sort of the greenery bandages. And the hood. She's very imposed. Because of that pose, she looks like she's got a lot of personality, and obviously the angle of the body suggests that she's very much ready to attack, which is very similar to Maiev, the warden, the actual warden that we got. Always basically aggressive, always ready and pushing for the attack. So I love the symbolism, just the iconography. It is something else, and obviously we've got the feathers. They look a lot more textured on, so they're not obviously separate feathers. This definitely looks like it's kind of like one texture, but obviously painted, like a matte painting kind of thing to look like a background. But I don't really worry about that too much. I just think the model looks pretty fantastic nonetheless. It's got a little bit of a spiky part of that going through her legs, so you've got to be a little bit worried about overlap, but that's obviously the artist's the challenge that they face, because not only have they got to make the models look good, but they've also got to make the gear that they use not overlap too heavily. Taking a look now at tharifas. So I am not familiar with this dragon. I said it before. I'm still not familiar with him. Looks like a dragon sort of maybe belonging to the Emerald Dream, just judging by the look of how green and sort of vibrant he is with these kind of blue, teal, purplish tints along. Very reminiscent of the Emerald Dream. Quite a monstrous looking jaw, I've got to say. They do look a bit vicious, really, and feral, a lot of the dragons. They don't quite have some of the wisdom that you might see in the World of Warcraft. They got like, despite sort of more serpentine face, they still seem to have, I don't know, softer features. But nonetheless, the colouring of this character is incredible. Really just stands out. I'm not sure what the player colour is, unless it is that green. Sort of like, it could well be that that's the player colour on the wings, but if it isn't, it's going to be pretty hard to tell which character this belongs to, or which player. Moving on, we have Prison Wagon as our last detail. And that looks exactly how you would pretty much want it to look. It's even got kind of like this Night Elf Ballista front architecture design. Sort of the armour, just beautiful. And you got the spiked wheels, they're slightly angled, and they'd be hobbling along, whilst Illidan would be inside. We haven't seen Illidan within the cage yet, but that is one of his homes during the campaign with the Blood Elves. So that's fun. I really like the back as well, because it's got all this Night Elf sort of iconography again, sort of the owl symbolization. Very wooden, so despite having the metal grates, it still retains that natural look that the Night Elves adhere to. So there you go. A much shorter one. There is another video to come out which might take a little bit longer, and that's going to be going off with the Jaina model, so stay tuned for that. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to thumbs up the video. It really helps out a lot. Share, subscribe, all that good stuff, because I'm doing nothing but working on constantly bringing out you these Warcraft 3 Reforged videos. If you do enjoy it as well, perhaps pop over to patreon.com/WTiiWarcraft and, you know, pledge $1 or whatever it might be there, and that would be a great way to help out the channel too. And of course, twitch.tv/Witty, where I stream Tuesday to Sunday, 12 to 2 p.m. Although tomorrow I'll be 3 o'clock at least till 6 o'clock in the afternoon GMT time. So check it out, have a look, and let me know what you think. Thank you very much. Take care.